Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sunday night, is organ music night. Now, I will apologize in advance. I've done something to my right arm, and occasionally I get the most awful twinge. That's a wonderful word. Twinge. A nervous twinge in my arm, and it locks everything up. I don't know what's happened. I have a feeling I slept on my arm wrongly the last couple of nights. And as a result, it's something is horrendously dead in there. And if I move it in certain ways, it really hurts like hell. So be aware, there might be the odd sort of strange spasmic sound from my right hand tonight. I'm explaining why. Something really weird has happened, and I can't explain it. So yeah, there you are. Exciting stuff. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That was a hymn from the Czech hymnal, and our friend here, František, even told us what it was. There's a message in there somewhere, I spotted it on the way past, where František is telling us what that piece was. I could look it up in the book, but it's in there, it's in the list for you. A wonderful Easter hymn, and I think it sounds absolutely beautiful on this enormous Riga organ in Düsseldorf. Don't you agree, ladies and gentlemen? Well, good evening, here we go. It's Sunday night, it's organ music night, and tonight we're going to have a relaxing look at some of our favourite hymns. I've got a couple of requests, believe it or not, for hymns. Everything from Easter hymns to harvest hymns. So let's get straight on with the harvest hymns. This is a request, not by Cam Platz, but by Kristin Platz, who wrote to me this afternoon, or early morning for them, wrote to me earlier and said, could you please play this hymn? It's a wonderful, wonderful melody. St. George's Windsor is the title of the melody. And you will probably know it under the words, "Come ye thankful people, come, raise the song of harvest home." So yeah, a harvest hymn, which at the time of Easter is definitely, well, it's always fitting, but yeah, it's always fitting. This is a good one though. A nice stirring hymn. So let's not start in a stirring way. Let's start with something very, very strange. Oh, excuse me, starting with something very strange. Let me quickly, before we do this, also press that and that. Yes, there we go. So that this is all working and everybody knows what we have to do. Splendid, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, yes. Keep us streaming, please. Please, people. Your virtual tickets make all the difference, and keep these things going. Consider chipping in. Now, we're going to start this one off in a very strange way. Check this out. This is one of the most amazing sounds on this organ in Düsseldorf. Come, ye thankful people, come. But they're in the distance. There's a Vox Humana, a choir of Vox Humanae in the background. Listen to this. That's a lovely sound, isn't it? Oh, I do love the sound of this organ. It's amazingly big and brash and snarly, but at the same time majestic and delicious. And yeah, that's a magnificent hymn to play around with, isn't it? It starts in F major. And at the end I decided, well, we have to go up, don't we? So G major at the end there. And I think it sounds more majestic in G, don't you? Especially the ending. Here's the ending in F major. All right, but here it is in G major. So it's got more acoustic to it for some reason. This is an amazing phenomenon. Now, I will be introducing you to this phenomenon at some point in the next weeks, if not, well, month, but definitely in the next weeks, when I will be going out and about again with my arsenal of wonderful microphones, which are hidden over there, and recording buildings and organs again. And the important thing there is every building has its own sort of resonance. Yeah, this is very important. And these resonances are therefore sort of, they amplify various frequencies when you're playing along. So the organ in Dusseldorf, I happen to know, it's a lot of churches, I don't know why, but a lot of them amplify sort of B, F sharp. I kind of think, so if you're playing something that's with lots of F sharps in it, like a D major chord, that will go much further in the acoustic than, for example, let's say, what's the furthest you can get from there? Well, C major is the furthest you can get from F sharp. It just doesn't quite travel as far. The furthest would, of course, be B major, but we need a 64-foot effect to get that going. But this was... The acoustic just longer on that note. Go back and listen to it at some time. Measure it with a stopwatch. It is longer. And composers, organ music composers who knew their organs well, composed music in the right keys for the building. So, for example, you find a lot of music for Notre Dame, the organ in Notre Dame. A lot of music in Notre Dame is either D major or B major for some bizarre reason. A lot of it. Same in Saint-Sulpice. Saint-Sulpice, there's a lot of B major in Saint-Sulpice and things like that. And it's just because they've got this, the F sharps and the Bs kind of, you know, they hold that acoustic property. There you are. It's architectural. It's very exciting. But yeah, some pieces sound better in certain keys in certain buildings. So there you are. A wonderful piece of information that you will all forget within the next 10 minutes, but that's fine. There we are, St. George's Windsor by George Elvey. Come ye thankful people, come. A wonderful piece of music indeed. A wonderful piece of music indeed. I love it. So there you are. That's that. Right, now let's have a quick, we've got to keep an eye on things in the background here, but just to make sure. We've been having, oh gosh, look at that. People have been chipping in already. Thank you very much, folks. Oh, there's even more. That's good. Now, we're not officially having one, but if we get our 25 tickets again tonight, I'm going to play a very beautiful, now I know what the piece of music is this time. Ha 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 ha. I know what it is because I found out. I know what it is. It's a lovely request, actually. It's a very lovely piece of music. I'm not going to say any more than that. But if we get the 25 tickets together tonight, we're already at 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we are, 21 to go. And I will play you a rather beautiful piece of music. Now, I don't know the piece of music. I've never played it before, but I happen to know it's very beautiful. So there you are. There you are. More on that then in a moment. Now, I'm going to start off tonight basically because my arm is absolutely killing me at the moment. I'm going to say hello to everyone in the chat, and then hopefully something will go click, bang, and then I will be fine again, but it doesn't feel like it's going to do it. So let's have a look and see who's in the old chit chat tonight. I will say hello to you, and in that time hopefully things will calm down a little bit. Jez is here. Hello, Jez. Urza is here. Hi, Urza. Xing Chang Chong is here. Alexander is here. Alexander Wunderlich. Splendid. Rasbaz is here. Hi, Marco. Julian GC is here from the wonderful world of Louisiana. Anonymous is here. Cam is here. Hi, Cam. František is here. Hello, and thank you for your wonderful request. A lovely, lovely number indeed. Max is here. Hi, Max. Brooks is here. Hello, Utah. Oh, wonderful. We must get together again, Brooks. It's well overdue. Jez. Adrian Morris is here. Hello to you, sir. How are you doing? Splendid. Right, who else is here? Dominic Eckhard is here. Ooh, haven't heard from Dominic Eckhard for a while. You should have a... Dominic Eckhard is probably thinking up some really difficult piece of music for me to sight read. That'd be fun. Robert Varner is here. I'm checking out the organ before it's launched. I always do that. Per Tjernström is here. Splendid, splendid. Let's quickly nip through and see if I'm missing everyone. From Scarborough, it's our friend Ian Walker. Hi, Ian. Wolfgang Ratzka is here as well. Splendid. Andrew Prince is also here. Andrew Prince now has 2 dots on his name. Andrew Prince. So there we are. Jeffrey Ford is here from chilly northwest London. Yeah, bloody freezing here. That's why I'm wearing a jumper again tonight. Yeah, temperatures dropping below 0 tonight. And some parts of Germany had snow today. That's frightening, isn't it? Sebastian Kaiser is here. Kaiser is a wonderful word. It means emperor. Carl Kepner is here. The Bundle of Joy is having a moment downstairs by the sounds of it. Andrew Ketchum is here from Maryland. Hi, Andrew. Oh, wow. I like the broccoli and cauliflower. Yes, well, we don't like cauliflower. That's there to piss me off, basically. Yes, it's all a big joke. What is the sample set, says Andrew? It's the Rieger organ of St. Lambertus in Düsseldorf. An organ I know personally very, very well. I used to play it very regularly when I lived up that part of Germany. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Xing Chang Chong is still here. Good, right. Who else is here? Come on, let's have a look. Patrick Peach is here. Monica is here. Hi to both of you. Stefan Messer is here. Hello to you. Pflegeteddy is here. Hi there. Pflegeteddy. I got an email from Pflegeteddy recently with a picture, so I now know what Pflegeteddy looks like. Haha. Yellowbird is here. Hello. Use a heat pad on my arm. Oh God, no, absolutely not. It probably need Robert Varner, a twinge, a sign of getting old. Yes, I hope not. No, I suspect cold will do it better than heat. It's that kind of feeling. It needs cold. Zedox is here. Hello. Where are you from? That's a name we haven't seen before. Kristin is here in the chat. Yay! It's never inappropriate to be thankful. Thank you. That's a wonderful thing to say. Actually, this weekend, it's the Shepherd weekend, isn't it? So I suppose I have to play some shepherdy hymns tonight, don't I? And at church last night, I thought it was very, very nice. The guy who did the service last night, it was actually just it was a sort of it wasn't a mass, it was just an evening service. It was very nice though, it was very, very beautifully done. And the guy who did it, his closing words were, say something nice to somebody and see what the reaction is. Yeah, he says the world's so full of people being horrible to each other at the moment. Just say something nice to each other. And then he also said, be thankful. And I thought that was wonderful. We don't do enough of that these days. So, Kristin, you're absolutely right. Well done. It's never inappropriate to be thankful. Mike King is here. Hello. Phil S is here. Harmonizations. Yeah. Is that a known style or is it my own invention? It's called Gartshore meandering. It's something I've been doing for years. There probably is a style, but I don't know. I'm calling it my own. Phil S is there. Good evening, by the way. The Nightbot is doing things in the background. Orgelhase is here. Hello. He's only saying a short hello, but you could come and say a longer hello if you want. We love having everybody here. BR is here. Who's BR? BR. A lovely, majestic music. Well, thank you for that. Hannes Hobby is here. Hello, haven't seen you for a long time. Lovely. Hannes Hobby is back. Hello. August is also here from North Carolina. Good evening to you, sir. How are you doing? Yes. Oh, here we go. TB is also here. Opus 3 is here. Hello. Philip Augustine is here. Oh, we're getting everyone here now. Everyone's here now. Splendid. Who else? Any new names? If you're new, say hi in the chat so we know who you are. So we know who you are, where you're from. All right, I think we're pretty much down at the bottom of the list. Thank you. I am not a broccoli fan either. Well, good for you, Andrew. I'd be very wary of vegetables. Yes, very wary of vegetables. Tamino Rudolph is here. Sounds like a 1920s film star. Johan Östlund is here from Stockholm. That's nice. Julian Cleek is also here from Wales. Right, who else? That's about it. Thoughts on Marmite, says TB. I quite like Marmite. I know a lot of people don't. I quite like it though. Pinheiro Emmanuel is here from Nigeria. Hello to you. Splendid. BR Betsy Russ. Ah, gotcha. How are you doing? Da-dum, da-dum, dum, bum, bum. We did that on Friday night. Did you get that? I hope you got that on Friday night. Lots of green acres on Friday night. All right, anyway, right, we're moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Otherwise, it'll be a chatty concert tonight, and that's boring. We want music. Now, it's still officially the Easter season, and last night we had some rather wonderful Easter hymns at church. However, there was one hymn I played that nobody knew, so I didn't play it. There's a couple of folks. That wasn't it. I wanted to play that one, but nobody knew that either. Oh, hold on a moment. Where's the one I wanted to play? It's coming up here somewhere. I have a few people in the congregation who help me with things like this. There it is. 336 in the book. It's an Easter hymn. It's called Jesus Lives. And with him, me too. There's not a very good translation, is it? I'm sorry about that. Sometimes, when I speak German, I think German. I don't translate it into English automatically. And actually, since I moved to Germany 24 years ago, I never really did that. I always thought, right, I'm here. I'm going to stay here. I'm not going to translate everything into English. I'm not going to be one of these people who hangs around with English-speaking people all the time. I'm going to immerse myself in German life. And I did. And it's quite interesting because I can completely separate German and English now after 20 odd years. And the funny thing is when I see things like this, I just read and understand the German. But if you say, right, translate that into English, please, I really have to sit and think about it. Which is interesting because I actually sometimes work as a translator. But that's fine because you're on a computer. You can think about things. In the key of B flat then, number 336 in the German hymnal. Jesus lebt, mit ihm auch ich. Tod, wo sind nun deine Schrecken? So, death, where is your sting? All that kind of stuff. Right, here we go. This is a cracker. And I didn't get to play it last night, so this is me playing it for the first time here. It's in B flat, and it's big, but it's not that big. It's this big. little hymn, is it? Once you got around the harmonies, like I said, I hadn't played it. I certainly didn't play it last night. And there's a bit in the middle where I have to sort of work out what the harmonies are doing. Gesundheit. Vanessa just had a huge sneeze downstairs. How does the melody go? Okay, but that's easy enough. That's something easy to harmonize. There are many ways of harmonizing that. I suppose you could go. That's a more British way of doing it. And oh, actually, yes, because then it goes da dee dee da da dee da da da. So that is more German, obviously, with that dee dum at the end there. We have to go da dee dee da da dee da da da. I suppose we could da da dee da da dee da da da. We could go down there, couldn't we? But then it goes back there afterwards. Da da dee da dum dum dum. It does that again, but then it goes dee da dee da dee da 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 dum, which is kind of like a sort of national anthem, I suppose. Dee da dee da dee da 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 dum. That kind of thing. Now, where does it go here? It's rather abruptly takes us back to B flat at this point. Da 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 e e e e e. Which isn't terribly exciting, is it? How could we do that then? That's all you can do there, really. I suppose you could, however. We could head there, that would be kind of good. And then to finish off... something like that. That's pretty cool. I quite like that. I quite like that. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to mention it and I saw it. Oh, don't do that. I saw it earlier in the chat. Joe's not here tonight, but Marie is. Marie is being Joe in the chat tonight. So hello to Marie. It's Auntie Marie, everybody. Lovely to see, in inverted commas, to see you again. So we'll get some toe-tapping stuff for you tonight, Marie, at some point. So get ready for that. Yes. Now, when I said it's shepherdy time, so we have lots of these lovely sort of Jesus being the shepherd kind of hymns. And there's a rather lovely one in German. And it's kind of like the Lord's My Shepherd, which I'll play in a moment. But this is the German version of that, and I rather like it. And of course, because this organ has that Vox Humana, we're going to go back and have some of that again. sheepy noises for the shepherdy hymns. Isn't that good? I like that. What do you think? I like this oboe sound we have up here on the 4th manual, which is rather nice. Especially with this little, there's a tiny little bit of tremulant, which means wobble, 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 wobble. Quite nice, isn't it? And then the vox humana itself, which is a very keen vox humana. It's a good word, keen. Just means narrow scale and a sort of rather sort of thin sound. It's a very French style vox humana. There are vox humanae in other organs which are much rounder sound, and they do actually sound like, well, they don't really sound like a human voice, but they sound like a human voice when someone's got a pretty bad cold, if you want it like that. And you can actually get them voiced to produce different vowel sounds, believe it or not. So you can get different vox humanae doing different vowel sounds, and you can get a chorus of vox humanae to create some wonderful effects. Really rather good fun. Right, ladies and gentlemen, a few tickets have been arriving, so let me go into the list here and say thank you to some people. Let's start by saying thank you to Jerry. Jerry was in early. This came in earlier today. That's an early ticket. Thank you very much from Jerry. From Stefan. Thank you to Stefan. Who's this? Wolfgang over in Marburg. Thank you very much, Wolfgang. The Platz gang. Thank you very much to the Platz gang. Very kind. Thank you very much. Lovely, lovely. Who's this? Philip Augustine, our friend Philip. Thank you, Philip. That's also very lovely. Who's this? Betsy. Da-dum, da-dum, dum, bum, bum. I have to play that again, don't I? No, we mustn't. We should. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Betsy. Very kind. Very kind. Thank you. Who's this? Andrew. Thank you very much. Andrew Princey. So yes, very good. Who's this? Jörg. Thank you very much, Jörg, helping us to get to 25. I like that. Dominic. Dominic. Do we have a request from Dominic? Let's have a look at the emails. There's a request. There isn't a request from Dominic yet. Yeah, Dominic's got a new job, which means he can't be with us as regularly as he can. However, he's catching up afterwards, and he sent me a request earlier in the month, apparently. Hold on, let's have a dig and see if I can find that. Da-dum, da-dum, dum. Boom, boom, there it is. What's this? Oh my goodness. Oh yes, this was because I was playing oh damn it, I pressed the wrong button. Sorry, excuse my naughtiness. This is because I was playing music from my friend Kalevi, who sadly died. And yeah, so that's what that was all about. Anyway, right, back to tickets. Thank you very much, Dominic. That's very kind. Oh, hold on, was that? No, there's someone else. And Jez, get some deep heat from your arm. Yeah, no, definitely not. Like I said, I'm going to get the ice on it later. It's a nervous pain. So yes, I'm going to get the ice on it. When it's nerves, ice is the way to do it. It's not a muscle pain. I don't have any muscles in my arms. I'm an organist, not a builder. so no, it's definitely a twinge. It's a nerve thing. I think I've trapped a nerve somewhere. Oh yes, up there. Oh bloody hell! Yes, that's it. Hit it on the spot. I've trapped a nerve in there somewhere, and ooh, oh bloody hell! And it's coming all the way. Yeah, it's coming all the way down here. There it is, right there as well. Ow, yeah. It could be a muscle if it's going all that far, but it feels more like a nerve. Maybe it's a combination. So heat and cold. Thank you, Jess. But yes, thank you everybody. Thank you everybody so far. How are we doing actually? Are we on? We're nowhere near 25, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Well, no, 10. Sorry, Jerry came in early. Do we count Jerry? Yeah, of course we count Jerry. 10 then. Almost halfway there. Not quite. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Oh yes, Shepherdy hymns. Shepherdy hymns. Does anyone know it off by heart? The number I want in here? 459. There you are. I should have been able to remember that. I should actually be playing it from the Scottish book, really, shouldn't I? To be perfectly correct. Now, something about the melody of this piece of music is connected to a teacher that was at my school. There was a teacher at my school. I was never a great fan of all this mafia stuff, but he taught Gaelic, that very old language connected to the northwest of Scotland. Which is hilarious because Gaelic was never actually spoken officially in Inverness, ever. People actually spoke French in Inverness and English. And because Inverness, here, useless information for you. Everyone assumes that all over Scotland people spoke Gaelic, which is the biggest load of rubbish ever. Not everybody in Scotland spoke Gaelic, and certainly not anywhere along the east coast, ever. Very much confined to the west coast. Anyway, all the East Coast stuff was Norse and Viking and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, but Inverness was a very bizarre place in days gone by. It was cut off from the rest of the country by road. You couldn't get to Inverness by road. You could only get to Inverness. You could only get to Inverness by sea, coming around the sort of the coast into the Murray Firth and coming around that way. And all of these traders from all around the world would come into this port of Inverness, and people had to speak very, very clearly to speak to all these people. And this is why, to this day, people say that, well, shall we say, posh Inverness accent is the clearest English accent there is. English language accent, I shouldn't say English meaning from England, but the English language, obviously. The clearest English language accent there is. And if you find someone who's got a proper clean Inverness accent, I don't, but if you find someone that does, they will have a very clear accent and you will understand absolutely every word they ever said. But the other main language that was spoken in Inverness was French, because a lot of French traders came in apparently. So there you are, useless information that none of you ever need to know, but it might come up one day as a who wants to be a millionaire question. You never know. Anyway, so Gaelic was never spoken there, but it was taught in schools, because nowadays in Scotland every road sign is in English and Gaelic for some crazy reason. They've got too much money, obviously. But the guy who taught Gaelic in the school was apparently related to the composer of this melody, Crimond, "The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want." It was written back in 1836. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was written in 18 something. I can't remember. Sorry, the melody. But yeah, and apparently our old teacher Duncan was related to this person, Jesse Irvine. So there you are. If this is true, I don't know. This is Jesse Irvine, I-R-V-I-N-E. That's the Scottish person. Obviously, Jesse Irving would have been the Jewish equivalent. So there you are. But no, this is Jesse Irvine, 1836 to 1887. You all know this melody. Sing along if you know the words. And if you don't, hum along with the melody. stirring stuff. I should have gone up to B major rather than B flat major at the end, shouldn't I? Can I have played that in B major? I don't know. Let's try transposing it to B major. This might not work. Oh my God. Oh, that feels weird. No, it's weird. Oh my God, that's weird. Where are we going here? This feels weird, doesn't it? Oh my God. But at the end of that piece, when I was faffing about on full organ, that would have sounded amazing in B major. Let's just do the very end in B major on full organ again. It's very high. So from here. Almost 6 seconds in B major. There you are. That's not bad, eh? It's a horrible key to do things in. Torsten, our friend Torsten with a wonderful surname. Yeah, cool. Thank you, folks. Feels off, says TV. Yeah, it does. When you know hymns in a certain key and you hear them in a completely different key, and when I say completely different, from F major normally to B major, that's a tritone. That's about as far away as you can get harmonically speaking. Obviously, it's not as far away as you can get tonically speaking, but harmonically speaking, it's as far as you can get. Anyway, lovely, eh? I like that. Off you go. Now, we finished off last night's service at church with a great hymn, an absolutely wonderful one. And I think this really, the melody's so good, I think it should be the new German national anthem. I really do. It's an old Maria hymn, a hymn to Mary, and it's got the most bananas sort of, it's a national anthem kind of melody. I love it. You can go crazy on it. See what you think. So I'm going to pump up the organ already. But close the swell box. What does that mean? Close the swell box. Well, down here where my feet are, look at this. See what my right foot is doing? It's pushing this pedally thing. It's like a guitarist wah-wah pedal. I can move it up and down. I've got 3 of them for various different things. You only need 2 on this organ, never mind. And this one here controls something called the swell box. And that's basically this manual here and these stops here on the organ. And all of these pipes from this part of the organ are enclosed in a huge wooden box, a soundproof wooden box. And at the front of this wooden box, there are sort of shutters. And wait a minute, do they open that? Yes, they open vertically. So they open, no, they don't open vertically, they open horizontally because they're pinned vertically. You know what I mean? They open up like shades. And they're called swell shades in certain parts of the world. And you control the opening and closing mechanism with this pedal down here. So if I have full swell, which is this sound, that's a big, snarly, meaty, beefy, bassy sound, which I rather like. You can close all those shutters, vroom, and it's pretty sound deadened then. And the same sound sounds muffled, it sounds contained, and it's literally what it is. Those pipes are contained within that box, and if you play chords and then gradually open that box, it starts getting louder and snarlier. Watch my right foot. it's a lovely effect. Now if I keep that closed and play on this manual, because I've got all the pipes from this one and all the pipes from this one and all the pipes from this one, but they're all coupled together. Because this is a French style organ, that's the swell, that's the positive, so the choir if you like, and this is the grand orgue, this is the great manual. Some people, purists out in America or maybe in the United Kingdom, would say, well, hold on a minute, the great should be this manual, the second one, or if you've got three, the middle one. Then you have the swell, then the choir. Well, theoretically, you could be right. With the power of Hauptwerk, you could do whatever you wanted. You could put those pipes there if you wanted. However, if you were to go and visit the real organ in the real church, you'd be kind of stumped, because this, like a big French organ, the bottom manual is the great, the Hauptwerk, the grand orgue. Then the choir, then the swell, and then as it happens here, there is something called a choir organ. Which is controlled by a different, it's in a different part of the building altogether. The main organ is at the west end. And then up in the altar space, you've got this choir organ. And if you listen carefully on headphones or on very good speakers, binaural stereo speakers, you will hear that this part of the organ is this big sort of stereo sound right in front of your face. And this organ here, the choir organ, is coming at you from somewhere on the right at the back. And that's exactly where it is. If you were sitting in the church, facing the front, facing the altar as it were, the choir organ would be in front of you at the right, and the big organ, the grand organ, would be behind you, belting out at you. So I've tried to recreate that space here in my installation, and I hope it works. You should be listening on decent headphones, because that really sort of helps. Anyway, I'm going to play you number 527, which I think is a corker, and I'm going to play around with the swell box, now that you know what that is. That's going to be clipping. That is definitely going to be clipping over there, isn't it? Hoo-wee, folks and folks. Yeah, gosh, I think we need to get rid of some of that clipping. Let's just turn things down a tad. Tiny bit of crackling when it gets very loud. I thought it would. I was overdoing it there. 10 fingers and 2 feet. So yeah, overdoing it a bit. It's a cracker of a sound, isn't it? Ah, love it. Right, how are we doing over on the... Oh, we're not doing any more on the ticks front, though. Looks like I'm going to be spared my sight reading for tonight. What do we have here? Oh, da-da-da-dum-da-dee-dee. Yes, I know that. I don't need the music for that. But nonetheless, that's a nice one. Ooh, a nice one from our friend Yellowbird tonight. Let's see if we can squeeze that one in. What's this? Our friend David Miller has just sent me something else as well, right? What's this? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's pop it onto the machine. Where is my machine? Is it even here? Oh, there it is. Ah, all this modern technology, and here's me playing from old papery books. What on earth is that? Bread. I suspect the little one has been playing with the iPad again. Is it dangerous when 1-year-old children understand how the iPad works better than Dad does? I suspect that is the case, isn't it? There it is. Right, what's this then? Ooh, it's in 6/8 time. That could be a nice one. Right, this was David Miller's request. It's something called Green Fields. Not Green Acres. Green Fields. Not Green Acres, but Green Fields. Hold on. Now, there was a story behind this. Here's a rather different shepherd hymn. Words, thou shepherd of Israel and mine, the joy and desire of my heart, for closer communion I pine. Pining for the fjords. No, I long to reside where thou art. The pastures I languish to find. That's an interesting way of putting it. Where all who their shepherd obey are fed, on thy bosom reclined, and screened from the heat of the day. I like that. And according to this, the melody is an arrangement. It's originally by JSB. Do we recognize it? Let's find out. Green Fields. Yeah, I like that. Thank you, David. I like that. Something different. Wonder, should it be faster? No, I suppose it's a lilting number. It should lilt along in a shepherdy way. Apparently shepherds lilt. Do shepherds lilt? I'm not sure they do. I'm really not sure they do. Splendid. I like that. Please play Green Acres. Carl Heyman. Haynum, sorry, Haynum. Haynam, hey. Carl Haynum with Hey. Well, I played Green Acres the other night, but I suppose I could. Shall I play it again? Who wants me to play it again? Da-da-da-dum-dum, bum-bum. I've probably still got my list from the other night. Oh, don't press buttons for that long, that's dangerous. Theme from Green Acres, there it is. Ha 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 ha. That's all you're getting of that tonight. We did that on Friday night. There was a longer version of that on Friday night. Oh my goodness me. Where on earth do we find all this kind of stuff from? Shall we change the mood entirely, ladies and gentlemen? Let me get rid of this enormous tome. No, don't use that with my right hand. That's going to hurt. That's a heavy one. Here's a piece of music that I played, a long time ago. I can't remember it, however, so I think we do it again. It's molto largo, which means bloody slow. And what we need some kind of a solo-y sound. Actually, I'm going to use a very different solo-y sound today. I'm going to use this, which is almost like a clarinet. I think we might need to beef it up a little bit with a flute. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? And then I think we will have something very gentle. We'll have a harmonic flute to accompany it. There we are. Harmonic flute is basically a flute that you'd find in a band or an orchestra. It's overblown. So you know when you get flautists who go and sort of chiffing into their flute. Chiffing is the correct word. Chiffing into their flute. It gives that sort of chiffy sound. Well, that's an overblown flute. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, the overblown flute is a thing. Jez is saying Green Onions, please. I played Green Onions once and got into serious copyright trouble, so I'm not going to do that again. The copyright pigs are still out there. I've I think, found a legal way of dealing with them. It just remains to see if it will work. So we might be lucky and we may be rid of them. But no, I'm not playing things that will endanger. And Green Onions, for some reason, did. Anything by the Eagles will get you immediately. And anything by Paul Simon will get you immediately. Even if you change around with it, play around with it, do what you want with it, they will still come and get you, and they will threaten to close your account. Not pleasant at all. Here's a piece of music. Bloody Slow is the translation of its title. Largo, but it's not Handel's Largo. It's a Largo by a Benelux composer called Floor Peters, and it's very, 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 very slow, but it's rather nice. But it's got a sort of weird twist to it in the middle, which you weren't expecting. Get ready for this. Told you it was weird. Yeah, that wasn't quite right, but you would never know, would you? The weird sounding bits were right. Yeah, strange piece of music. Not really normally into that kind of music, but nonetheless, why not? Right, are we doing any more on the ticket sales here to see if we're going to get to our numbers tonight? Nope. Oh, the Green Onions, the Blues Brothers theme. No, unless they did it in one of the other Blues Brothers films, which we ignore because they're awful. Red Onions. That's not a bad idea, says Robert. Or roasted garlic. That's an amazing title for a tune. That would be a great title for a tune. Anyway, Will Grosch, back in, I don't know when this would have been, 1930s? Well, it tells me here. 1934, yes. 1934, wrote this wonderful tango together with someone called Jimmy Kennedy. I used to know a lot of people called Jimmy Kennedy, but I'm not sure Jimmy Kennedy is the one I'm thinking of with this. And it's a wonderful piece of music about a beautiful island off the Amalfi coast down in southwest Italy. And I know this part of the world particularly well. Vanessa and I went on holiday there back in 2017. Is that right? Yes, it was our first proper holiday together. We hired a car because I didn't want to put that many miles on my car. So we hired a car. It was a Ford Mondeo station wagon. I remember that in estate. Awful car. Absolutely disgraceful. It was petrol engined. It was the most uneconomical thing I've ever driven ever. It was awful. It used far too much fuel. It would have been a lot cheaper taking my own diesel car and just paying the extra mileage. It was a lease in those days, the car I had, but never mind. Anyway, and we drove all the way down to Sorrento, which is a beautiful part of the world. And for fun, we hired a little boat for a day and went off around the Mediterranean in our little boat. And we went all the way round the Isle of Capri and came back to Sorrento. And we pretended we were very, very wealthy boat people. It was in a tiny, tiny little boat with a boat with an outboard motor. But it was great fun. Nobody asked us if we had a boat license. I don't have a boat license, but nobody asked. I just hired a boat and we went for it. Nothing happened, apart from Vanessa got incredible sunburn on her bum. Or, well, not on her bum, obviously. She was wearing something, but just underneath there, the leggy bit under the bum. She got terrible sunburn. Anyway, and this wonderful piece of music has got nothing to do with our trip there, but while we were going round the Isle of Capri, I was humming the tune, because you do. I'd never been to Capri before, so here we are. It's actually called Capri if you come from Italy. In English we say Capri for some reason, but it's Capri is the correct pronunciation. But anyway, here we are. This is a wonderful piece of music. It should sound quite nice on the organ too. You can't put a cha-cha-cha at the end of a tango. You all wanted me to, didn't you? I could hear it. I could feel you wanting. Hey, hey, da, 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 dum. I could feel you want the cha-cha-cha at the end. But no, it's a tango, you mustn't. I think the nerve twitching thing in my arm is causing me to do bizarre things tonight. I transposed that into F sharp major for a moment. I don't know why. I don't like F sharp major, nor should you. What's this, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, my tea bags are being delivered tomorrow. That's good. I ran out of tea bags the other day. It's impossible to get proper builder's tea over here in Germany, so I have to order it in from some Indian guy in Frankfurt. There's lots of Indians down in Frankfurt, and a huge Indian community there, and they have proper PG Tips tea bags. And yeah, so I have to order them in, and they're arriving tomorrow. So that means tomorrow morning, my cup of tea tomorrow morning will have to be some nasty, weak, German Earl Grey tea ersatz. It won't be a real proper cup of fighters tea. But tomorrow evening I shall be able to have some decent tea again. Splendid! That's good. That's put me in a good mood again. That's put me in a very good mood again. Right, okay, now everything else that was requested for tonight is rather difficult. So I'm not going to be playing difficult stuff tonight because I'm using my arm as an excuse. And I'm also using the fact that we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 tickets, that's it. One more since we last spoke. That's it, ladies and gentlemen, no more tickets. Andrew Prince owned 3 Ford Capris. The last one was a 2.8 injection. Yeah, they were wonderful cars, they were. I had a friend who had a 2.8 injection. He used to show off. He thought this was the best thing since sliced bread. Until I turned up one day in my Jensen Interceptor with its 7.2 litre V8 engine. And yeah, he wasn't very happy when I did that. This was back in the days when classic cars were cheap as chips. And I bought an old Jensen Interceptor with the intention of restoring it and keeping it. And rather foolishly, when I moved over here to Germany 25 years ago, I sold it for a loss, basically, at a huge loss back in those days. If I'd held on to it, it would be worth an absolute bloody fortune now. Yeah, mistakes we have made. Anyway, I had a Hammond organ in the UK as well, and I sold that too. Yellowbird has a 2001 Ford Puma. Oh, good God, no, please don't. A Ford Puma, is that even a real car? I don't think so. Of course, I once owned a Jensen Interceptor, yes. I actually had 3, but don't tell anyone. Not at the same time. Well, not quite. Do you want to know a stupid story? When I once had a Jensen Interceptor for a very small part. This was the Mark II Jensen Interceptor. It only had a 6.3 litre V8 engine. It was just as uneconomical though, but it was a lovely car. It was in a sort of a metallic light blue. It was a very beautiful car. But the Mark II still had all the wonderful switch gear in the middle, so it looked like a sort of an aeroplane with lots of toggle switches and things. It was wonderful. The Mark III, the 7.2, they didn't look like that. They tried to be more modern. Failed miserably, but anyway. But I sold that car because it was so uneconomical. And the car I replaced it with, yes, I sold the Jensen Interceptor because I wanted something more economical. So I bought a V12 Jaguar. And it was more economical than the Jensen Interceptor. But no, I didn't hold on for that very long either. That was a beautiful one. That was a 1991 XJ12, black with a red leather interior. The full pimping interior. It was a beautiful car. I got it from. It used to belong to Brian Suter, who was the chairman of Stagecoach, together with his sister Anne Gloag, who I also know very well. And I met Brian a couple of years later. I was playing some music for the Gloag family, and I met Brian, and I'd met him a few times before, and he said, "You still have my old car?" I said, "No, I got rid of it. It was too unreliable." And he said, "Yeah, that's why I sold it in the first place. What was it like in your day?" And I said, "Well, it worked for a while, but then it stopped working." But it was a lovely little car. It was an absolutely lovely car, but then definitely not. Definitely not. No. I do have an old car at the moment that is being nicely, well, it doesn't need restoring because it's an Audi A2. Remember those tiny little Audis, the A2? Wonderful thing. Space frame aluminium car. And yeah, all it needs is new brakes, which are going to be done very soon. And then it's ready for the summer season. That's going to be good fun. It's a lovely little car. Cheap. That's very cheap to run. It doesn't use anything at all. My daily drive is a 2004 MGTF. That's better. That's better. That's more like a car. I owned a Ford Falcon, then an AMC Ambassador. That's a fun car, Robert. A Lincoln Capri. They all let you down. I suppose they did. But yeah, but you live up in New Jersey, don't they? So they probably all rust away to hell. A Ford RS 2000 Mark II. Now that is a proper car. Julian Cleek, my brother, still has his fuel-injected turbocharged Hillman Imp. Yeah. We had when I was little, we had a Hillman Imp. I think actually when I was born, my parents had a Hillman Imp. That would make sense. CameraTim.com doesn't own a car. Well, fine. What kind of salary do musicians get that they can afford this? Well, back in the 90s, not bad was the answer, but nowadays, forget it. Nowadays, forget it. Apart from the Audi, everything else is very much financed. I can't afford a car. My car is a Land Rover long wheelbase from 1989, says John Castle. Now that's fun. Keep that away from the salt. Or a Wartburg 353 from 1980. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. JSM, we should do a car night. Yeah. Well, there are more videos coming very soon on Gartshore's garage. František has a petrol 1999 Skoda Octavia 1 with a 55 kilowatt engine. 55 kilowatts, that's not too bad. That's 90 horsepower, isn't it? That's 90 horsepower, that's not bad. Rally Red, it's the red hot flying chicken. Yes, I have a flying chicken as well. It's my Skoda Kodiaq. That's our daily lease car. That's my business car, as it were, my company car. It's brilliant, I love it. It's wonderful. Casey has a Honda. Right, well, we're talking about cars now, so that's not very exciting. Well, it is actually very exciting. I love cars. I really do love cars. Andrew has gone EV, a hybrid, a Hyundai Ioniq 5. Ionic, I think, not iconic. I think it's Ionic, isn't it? Andrew, I'm not happy about that, Andrew. Get yourself back into something more decent. Good luck trying to get rid of it. There you are. That's all I'm going to say about that. Torsten has a Mini Cooper S. There you go. When you say Mini Cooper S, are we talking sort of the original Minis or one of those modern BMW things? Jeff Royal, I'm not going to tell you the very ordinary car we have. Yes, tell me, Jeff. We want to know. Jeff's probably, he's going to come up now and say he's got a Bentley Turbo R or something. Andrew, you're absolutely fine, but just good luck getting rid of it. I have a friend here in the village who bought an electric car. 3 years later, wanted to trade it in for a new one. Worthless. Yeah. Felix Stern, he's happy with his Mercedes. Good for you. Casey, that's a Cryister. What's a Cryister? 193 horsepower, says Torsten. There you go, good for you. Per Pedes, statt Mercedes. Ooh, statt Mercedes. That's a nice joke from Joshua there. Per Pedes, that's of course Latin for on your feet. Mike King doesn't have a car either. Very ordinary and boring. Jeff Ryle, you're taunting us now. You have to tell us. You absolutely have to tell us. Can we think of any car-related songs? Can we think of any car-related songs? And I'm not talking about the Beach Boys or anything like that. Any car-related songs? Can you think of any car? Oh, if anyone can think of any car-related songs in the next 5 minutes, we'll do an extension to tonight. Robert Varner takes public transport. Well, based in the part of the world you're in, that's probably the best thing. I spent quite a lot of time over Beatles Drive My Car. Yeah, I played that not too long ago. Yeah, Route 66. Baby, can you drive my car? Johnny Cash, one bit at a time. Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. The wheels on the bus go round and round. Yes. No, I hear that every day several times because my little daughter loves playing it. Jeff, genuinely very French and gets bad reviews. Well, very French can only be Peugeot or Citroën. So, it gets very bad reviews. It's going to be a Peugeot then, isn't it? Don't tell me you've got a Peugeot 400 and whatever they are these days, a 406 or something like that. Well, it could be a Renault, couldn't it? No, Renaults get decent reviews these days. Renaults are, for some reason, much more reliable than they used to be. Autobahn says, oh God, that's a copyright hell, that one. The wheels on the bus, we might have to. Citroën is great when they work. Yeah, exactly. What about Churchy Prelude and the Top Gear thing? The Top Gear theme? Well, which Top Gear? I don't think Eric would be very happy about that. A Citroën, 2 Citroën CXs, but neither of them are running. Well, that's fairly obvious, I would have thought. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Mike, you've got it. Let's do that. Jump, jump. Can I remember the melody or do I need the music for it? Let's see. Do I even have the music for it? I don't know. Let's see. Shitty Shitty Bang Fart. Sorry, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I don't have it there, but let's find it very quickly. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, we love you. Oh dear. Dick Van Dyke, he's about 110 years old and still going. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, music, PDF. Boom. And we immediately find it here. Splendid. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, march for an entire orchestra. I just want a very brief score. Very, no, for heaven's sake, that's going to take forever. Good, well discovered. There we are. That looks good. I'm trying to find it. There it is. Rum dum 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 dum. That'll do it. That's not Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. What's this then? This should work. Right, hold on. That's going to take 30 seconds to download. It's one of those places. Right, what are we talking about then? Theme from Carmen. What's Carmen? Oh, you mean, oh God, Jeff, that's still not telling. Jeff, send me an email, I want to know. I promise I won't tell anyone. Fun, fun, fun on the Autobahn, says Yellowbird. Oh, I sang that in the theatre as a kid. Dominic Eckard. Yes, I know what kind of car Dominic Eckard has. I've seen Dominic Eckard's car. And if he hasn't changed his registration number, I think I know what his registration number was. But that doesn't matter. Is this what I think it is? No, that's just a list of rubbish. Oh, that's no use to anybody. Oh, hold on. Stop. No. Oh, bloody hell. I hate that when people say it's a score and then it's not. Right, we're going to have to go with something else. Free. There's only one page. Don't you hate it when people do things like that? Right, get rid of that. Shitty Shitty Bang Fart, we love you. Page 1 of 6. Can I download this without being a member of something? No. Can anyone find me very quickly the music to Shitty Shitty Bang Fart? And then I will play it, I promise, while we're busy talking about cars. Casey, what Krista, what are you talking about? Is it Wheels on the Bus time? I think it might be. Okay, if anyone can find me Chitty Chitty Bang Fart, and send it to me, but it has to be, it can't be anything from Muse Score. Muse Score is a pile of poo, and it's absolutely useless. It really doesn't help anybody. Tell you what, let's do it this way. Bingo. Found it. Download. Download. Oh, for heaven's sake. With you in a second. Found it. Found it. Click, bang, boom, and there it is. Send it over to the machine. Click, and it will appear here. It's in G major, so until it arrives, it's not doing it, you see, it does it. Come on, synchronize, you swine. The Sherman Brothers. Synchronize. Synchronize. Where's my synchronize button? There's my synchronize button. Yes, synchronize, do it. Come on. You love it when things work. It's not working. I will read it over my shoulder. That'll do. Bang, bang, shitty, shitty, bang fart. Splendid, splendid, yes. Oh, G sharp major. No, A flat major. Definitely don't do G sharp. Nobody would ever play. Oh, here's Joe. Joe's arrived. My fine four-friended friend. My fine four-fended friend. Yes. Dick Van Dyke is still very much on the go. He's still very active. He still sings regularly. He still performs. He still does a lot of sport. He still dances. And he is, how old is he? He's getting on for 100. And he's still going strong. I think that's absolutely wonderful. Good on you, Dick Van Dyke. Right. So people are still talking about cars. Ha 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 ha. Splendid. I wonder what kind of cars we all have. One day we'll do a chat, and we'll talk about cars, and you all have to tell me what kind of cars you have. Jeff, I'm still expecting that email, by the way. I wonder what I know what Joe has. Joe likes his diesels. Joe likes his diesels. Cam, I know what Cam drives around in. I know what Kristen drives around in. I know what Jerry drives around in. I know what Aaron drives around in. I know what some of you drive around in. But yeah, I wonder, swinging safari. Oh yes, you wanted swinging safari on our 60s night, didn't you? Why would anybody want swinging safari? I really don't know. On Friday night we did lots of 60s music. It still hasn't done that. So why hasn't it put it on there? I shall close this down. Off you go, you small boy. There we are, now it's here, of course. What film is that from? And if my mum's watching, she's not allowed to answer. What film is that from? Off you go, you small boys, said in a very posh Scottish accent. Off you go, you small boys. Does anyone know what that film was? Golf GTE, says Patrick Peach. Mini Cooper again, says Andrew Bazuki, and a Ford Bronco. Joe Humans with his 40 horsepower tractor, yes, and his TDI Volkswagen. Good for you. Jeff still not telling me. Casey Latz is still trying to spell something. Christil. I'm not sure what that is. Do you mean Chrysler? Is that what you maybe mean? Joe, she thinks my tractor's sexy. I'm hoping you're not talking about Marie at this point, but I'm guessing you're talking about something else. Ooh, Jez has a Beamer. That's a BMW for those who don't know. Previous car was an S60 Volvo and 3 Renault Espaces. Oh, you should have held on to the S60. That was a much better car. My dad used to have Reliant cars. That is definitely not something. Definitely not something we've been talking about. All right, good. You mean a Chrysler? You do mean a Chrysler, says Casey. Right, Chrysler. Okay. Chrysler. There you are, Chrysler. What kind of Chrysler? There are many different Chryslers. A 57 Chevy, says Joe. Now you're talking. Jeff still doesn't want to. Jeff, you have to tell me. You have to tell me. On Friday night, Uza Meyer requested this wonderful piece of music by Bert Kempfert. Does anyone remember Bert Kempfert? There was a guy called James Last who decided he was going to do some sort of easy listening music. And Bert Kempfert, was Bert Kempfert actually around first? I think he probably was. Anyway, Bert Kempfert. He's sadly no longer with us, but he had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful band. When I say wonderful, 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 yes, they all sort of took they all took their ideas from Mr. Wonderful Wonderful himself, Mr. Lawrence Welk. He started all this cheesy orchestra, this cornucopia of cheese. He started all of that, and James Last and Bert Kempfert took up the baton, as it were, when he left. Stop bullying Bert. I'm not bullying Bert. I'm not a bully. I love the music, but it is cheesy as hell. Come on. All right, here we go. Hoo-hoo-hee. Swinging Safari. Get your whistling voices ready and put on your patronizing African costumes. Cheesy enough? I hope so. Casey Latz, I know this song. Everybody knows this song. Julian's on his 6th Volvo. Matt Leach, my dad had, this is more like it, a 1928 Cadillac 12-cylinder convertible when he was 16. Bought it in 1935 for $50. Could you imagine what that would be worth now if it was still around and still in decent condition? Wow. Ooh, I like it. Oh my goodness, everyone's arriving late tonight. We're almost finished, ladies and gentlemen, I suppose. Well, I give you a chance to buy tickets tonight and to keep going. I really should be. CameraTim.com. I occasionally ride in a chauffeur-driven, air-conditioned Mercedes-Benz, otherwise known as a public bus. The Scimitar was a good Reliant. The Reliant Scimitar, yes, made famous because Princess Anne had one. They were still pretty rubbishy though. They had the Ford 3-litre 6-cylinder though, didn't they? They weren't bad. Not carbon fiber. What were they? That was good. Paper mache. No, that was no. What were they? What's that other stuff called? Not carbon fiber. Yeah. What's that other stuff called? You're ending fiberglass. Thank you, Julian. That's the one I was looking for. Fiberglass. Fiberglass cars. Fine until you hit something. Scimitars were GRP. What they make boats out of. Yes. Erie is here. Hello, Erie. Good evening to you. We're talking about cars tonight for some reason. So I don't know. Ooh. You're from the Ukraine. Do you have a Ukraine car? Are there any Ukraine cars? Cars made in the Ukraine, that's what I mean. I wonder, wouldn't that be cool? Anyway, my mate had a Scimitar. Everybody knows someone who had a Scimitar. For those of you over the pond who have no idea what we were talking about, Reliant was one of those wonderful British companies. Actually, it was theoretically a very good British company. However, as most British companies in the 70s, they all had rotten management and they all fell apart. But Scimitar was theoretically making good cars for a while. However, Reliant. They also made something called the Reliant Robin, which is a 3-wheeled disaster. The third wheel being at the front, 2 wheels at the back and 1 at the front. And they were hilarious. If you drove too fast, they would fall over. So you had to be very careful driving them. There were a few people around Inverness who had Reliant Robins, and we always tried to push them over when we saw them. Yeah, we used to get into trouble for that. Yeah, I've never driven one, and I don't think I ever want to. Morgans with their wooden frames. Rodney had a nice Reliant. Who's Rodney? Autokrats says somebody Zadox. All right, there we are. Are we talking about? That sounds almost. Anyway, never mind. Right. Reliant Robin Trotters Incorporated. Yes. Oh, that's what you meant by Rodney. I got you now. Yes. Okay. Toyotas and Hondas. Yes. Well, we can't all have taste, can we? Yeah. I'm trying to think, have I ever had a Toyota or a Honda? I don't think so. I don't think I have. My parents had Hondas for a while, but they've moved on now. I think they've become sensible and they're doing Toyotas these days. I always said to Vanessa, if I one day come home and say, guess what? I've just bought a Toyota. She has instructions to shoot me instantly. It's not that I don't like the brand, it's just that I don't know. A car has to have a personality. I love cars and they have to have a personality, and any kind of car could theoretically have a personality, but sort of something like your average run-of-the-mill Toyota has no personality whatsoever, and that does not appeal to me in any way. I would rather have a really unreliable car than anything reliable and boring. None of the things I have there are boring, interestingly enough. Cars must have soul, says John Castle. And David Miller has a Series 1 Freelander. There you go, that's good. Good for you. That's more like it. That's more like it. We're getting into cars. See, that's fine. Toyota are dead reliable, though. Yes, but they're also deadly boring, and that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. You see, here, David Miller has a Series 1 Freelander. That's going to have been unreliable at some point in its history, but he's still got it, and that's the point, because he loves it. Mazda, one of the few modern Japanese companies that does have a bit of personality. I like Mazdas. Mazdas have a bit of personality. Now, you're going to get weird here when I say that I like Lexus as well, but Lexus is basically Toyota, but it's Toyota with a bit of about it, yeah? And that's the, you know, because Toyota doesn't make crazy cars, but Lexus does, and that makes it more exciting. Jane used to own an MG Midget. Nice. Mazda MR2. Nice. Alfa Romeo. Beautiful. Until they stop working, which they will soon. Have you ever heard of anybody with an Alfa Romeo car that was 100% reliable forever? No, because they're not. Even the new ones aren't. Trust me. I know so many people with Alfas, and they've all fallen apart at some point. They used to rust, and that gave them a really bad reputation back in the 70s and 80s. They don't rust anymore. They're very good now for rust, but they're electronically and electrically unreliable now. Their motors, their engines are still very good. Wonderful cars, Alfas, very nice cars. But I've never had an Alfa. Have I ever had an Italian car? I don't think I've ever had an Italian car. I've had German cars, I've had French cars, I've had British cars. Have I had an American car? No. I've had Czech cars. What other nationalities of car have I had? Swedish. I had a Volvo 740 estate. That was a wonderful thing, huge. What else did I have? I was everybody's best friend when I had my Volvo 740 estate, for the simple reason that it was, oh, can you take me to IKEA? Everybody's friend. You were driving around in a bloody hearse. What else? I'm trying to think of other nationalities of cars I've had. The Jensen's sort of half American because it had an American engine. So that sort of almost counts. My mum has a Volkswagen Golf. That's very sensible. Good for you. A 1969 Mercedes in British Racing Green, definite babe magnet. I was poor and paid $1,500 for it. Yeah, you won't get them for $1,500 now. Fiat Multipla. Oh God. Oh God. No. No, no, no. Absolutely not. No, no, no. Volvo was deadly boring. That's not true, actually. Volvo is very reliable. They're not boring at all. They handle like hardly anything else on the road. They handle really very well. MR2 wasn't well named for France. Yes, that's true. I like it. Seat Marbella. The travelling shoebox. The old Seat Marbella was just basically a Fiat Panda put together in Spain. I'm going to take... Why am I wearing my headphones all the time? It's not like you're talking to me. Volvos don't like snow. For heaven's sake, that's not true. When I had my Volvo, I put Swedish tyres on it, Gislaved tyres on it, and it went through, it chomped through the snow. I used to drive up and down from the north of Scotland all the way throughout the United Kingdom, 12 months of the year in that thing, and it was unbeatable in the snow. It was wonderful. So wrong tyres on it, John Castle. You just need to put the right tyres on it. Wonderful car. I had a 1960s white Volvo. There's lots of soul. It went fine the snow. There you are. See, Volvos are built for snow. Thank you, Julian. You see, you know what you're talking about. John, you had the wrong tyres. You probably had summer tyres on it, which is a very bizarre thing to have. MX-5 is Mazda. Yeah, that's true. Mazda MX-5, very good cars. The original ones becoming quite collectible, but they rust like hell. Not good. Ooh, let's talk cars. I like talking cars. Lancia. Lancias used to rust, as everything Italian used to rust, because they didn't rust-proof them. Very simple. They didn't put any rust-proofing on them at all, ever. Lancias, very good cars, but very, very bad condition. Montego. All right, Jez, you're definitely better off with a BMW now. Montego, bloody hell. At least you didn't say an Allegro. No, what was the other one? The other one, the worst one, the Montego, and that thing that looks like the Ioniq 5 now, the Maestro, that one. Yeah, that was awful. My father-in-law had I'm not even going to pretend I know what it is. Some car with Soviet Union vibes, and it was a new car. It was so loud. Oh my goodness, yeah. Gosh. I'm not sure what, I don't know much about Russian cars, has to be said. I know there was a very good one with a wonderful V8 engine in it, but it was incredibly unreliable, incredibly thirsty, and pretty ugly as far as I remember. I had a 1959 T-Bird in my younger days, says John Drake. Wow, a Trabant. Jez, Trabant with A, T-R-A, Trabant. Awful, absolutely awful. The best is still a Classic Mini. A Classic Mini is definitely very good if you can keep it going. Yeah, Trabant was Eastern German rubbish. I'm sorry, they were just rubbish. A Studebaker, says Robert Varner. Now you're talking. Imagine you'd kept hold of that. Friend of mine has an all-electric VW, loves it. Well, there's no accounting for taste, is there? At some point, I will have an electric car, just for the hell of it, just to see if you can sort of live with an electric car, but I don't know. Ooh, now we're talking. František's dad has a Jeep Grand Cherokee automatic. Well, what else would it be? He also uses it as a tractor when we need to do so. Yeah, they're wonderful, those things. Is it the diesel or the big V8? Wonderful. Mercuries and Fords. All right, let's finish off, ladies and gentlemen. We can't talk about cars all night. Let's have a final piece of music request. What shall we have tonight? Let me see. Something from the Jazzy Book, I think. Let me see. What shall we have? Let's move on. Let's move up through the list of the tunes and see what we can find. Yeah, why don't we have that? It's not all about cars. It's not really about cars. A diesel 5-cylinder. Oh God. Who was the diesel 5-cylinder in the Jeep Grand Cherokee? What engine was that? Must be Mercedes, is it? 5. I'll be seeing you. So let's do that for Joe. Well, let's do 2. Let's finish with that one for Joe, but I was going to do this one first. Up and down Park Avenue with their noses in the air. Casey Latz, you must know a children's song. Little Deuce Coupe. Yep. Get into trouble playing that kind of stuff. My first car was a 1303 Beetle Cabrio. You should have kept it. You have to have an EV on a lease so that you can give it back is the exact right answer. Because they're not worth anything. That's the thing now. You see, 3 years ago, these were all the rage. Everyone wanted a new electric car. Now the initial leases are up. Everyone has a 3-year lease. And the initial 3-year leases are now gone. They're up. So all those cars are back in the market and nobody wants to buy them. So they're worthless. Crazy. Anyway, let's not talk about car politics tonight. Now I drive a Husqvarna lawn tractor. Now you're talking. Oh, the Fiat engine. Fiat 5-cylinder diesel. That can't mean anything good. Putting on the Ritz, and then we'll do some more for Joe as well. Sing along. putting on the Ritz. I'll be seeing you. Many years ago, I got to play I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places. And it was sung by the legendary, sadly no longer with us, Jimmy Scott. Remember Jimmy Scott, anyone? And I didn't really know who Jimmy Scott was. And we were sort of hanging about, getting ready to go, and this voice started singing, and I thought, hey, what? That's a man singing with a woman's voice. I didn't get it, but this was the Jimmy Scott thing, and yeah, amazing. And he sang beautifully, I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places, etc., etc. Pudding on the kids. Failure on race day. Oh, we're talking about Ford, found on road dead. Yes, that was another one. And what was it? Was it fix or repair daily? Something like that, wasn't it? That was Ford. Fix it again, Tony. No, that was Fiat. Yeah, that's right. Hold on. Oh, there you are. Fix or repair daily. That was Ford. Yeah, that was the one. There's a naughtier one for Fiat, but I can't say that in public. It wasn't fix it. It was something else. Yes. Dear. Right. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That was a fun night tonight. Sorry about my arm playing up from time to time. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's life, I suppose. These things happen. Maybe it's old age. Maybe it's just discomfort. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe I'm dying. Nobody got that from the film the other day. Oh, that was another car film. Jez got it the last time. Jalopy is best. Christmas suspension. Monte Carlo or Bust, a wonderful film with an all-star cast, and the French guy Bourvil, or everyone just called him Bovril, Bourvil at the beginning. Every bone in my body, I am dying, and all that kind of stuff. Nobody got it. Nobody got that. But yeah, anyway, there you are. Yes, I'm into all sorts of old films, and I know all these things, but I have one of those problems that my brain is it works in a very bizarre way. I memorize useless information. It's like Michael Caine and his brain. You just remember useless information. Perfect if you were appearing on if you were going to appear on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, because my brain's full of rubbish that nobody needs to know. The stuff I do need to remember, like pay your taxes on time, and all that kind of stuff, that useless. Forget it. Yeah, I can memorize music, I can memorize rubbish, but I can't remember the important things. There you are. Anyway, so there you are. I'll be seeing you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Sunday night is organ music night. Sadly, we have to finish for this evening, but thank you for your wonderful chats, and thank you for talking about cars and all this wonderful stuff that we were talking about. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for some tickets on the way past as well, very kind, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon through the week. There's a new video coming out tomorrow. It's something that was in one of the recent concerts, but I thought I would post it as a separate video, so I hope you enjoy it. Check it out. It's coming out tomorrow at roughly the usual time. See you soon, folks. Take care, and bye-bye.